As an organic farmer, I think people expect my biggest problem to be with pests. And pests can be a problem, but that's not where my major problem lies. My major challenge is weeds. Weeds! Weeds are the bane of my existence. However, I do have several strategies in dealing with weeds, which I'll share with you. I'm going to weed this bed right here. Now, from your perspective, it probably doesn't even look like it has weeds, but believe me, they are there. And this is the size you want to deal with them. You don't want to deal when they're knee high and you have to, get a mattox or something to get through them. At this stage, they're easy to deal with, and that's what we're going to do. For this, I'm going to use my flame weeder, which I will just go over the bed and flame. And all these little bitty weeds, as soon as the flame touches them, will just kind of melt. And I won't have any more weed problems. All the weeds that have germinated or going to germinate have germinated on this top layer. So if I just go and singe them off, that takes care of the vast majority of the weeds for this bed. Now, if I went and tilled it or something, that would also get rid of these weeds, but that would also bring up new weed seeds, which then I would have to deal with those. However, while I'm flaming, I'm not disturbing the soil. I am only getting rid of the weeds on top. Now, there are a lot of really nice flame weeders on the market. This isn't one of them. This is only, however, $20. I got this at Harbor Freight. You can get them a lot of different places. Hooked straight up to a butane tank like you'd use for your gas grill. And then just go along and singe the top of it. There are a lot of really nice ones that you actually have several burners and you can just roll. Those cost like $400, $400 or $500 versus this for $20. One day I'll get that, but for right now, I'll use this. Let me show you a trick to lighting these. I always use this little strike thing to light these. And if you hold this handle open full blast, you can hear that come out, it will actually blow the flame out when you try to light. So the secret is to barely let a little gas come out, light it, and then do the full blast. So I'm going to barely let it, it's barely coming out. I'll say barely, there we go. You probably can't see that, but you can hear it. And they can certainly feel it. The really nice thing about the flame weeder is I'm going along here, it's actually blowing debris off the bed, which makes it really easy for me to see where I made passes. So that took me about a couple of minutes. The bed is ready. I won't have weeds in this bed for weeks now, which gives my crops a really good jump on the start. The only weeds you will get in beds like this is weeds that blow over from somewhere else, which unfortunately there are plenty of those too. There are also some more passive ways to deal with weeds. One thing I have started this year is using tarps to help with my weed problems. I really credit Jean-Martin Fortier and Curtis Stone for really popularizing or making this idea really popular. I'm not sure if they were the inventors, but certainly they have used it to a great extent, and a lot of us other farmers have profited from their knowledge. So what we'll do is I'll prepare the soil, prepare three, and I have three rows tarped right now. Prepare the soil, getting ready to plant. I will then actually leave my tarps off for about 1 week to get them wet. I think either Curtis or Jean-Martin, one of those actually put the tarps on immediately. I'll leave it off, and the reason I leave mine off is there are actually some weed seeds that require light to germinate, so I want to make sure they germinate as well. So I'll leave them off, they will germinate. I'll put the tarps on. I'll usually leave them 3 to 4 weeks. After 3 to 4 weeks, anything that has germinated will be dead. So then when it's time for me to plant, I'll simply remove the tarps and then go and I am ready to plant. So you can see here is an area I have tarped. This is 3 rows that I have actually prepared to tarp, and the weeds actually are starting going up, so I will probably actually tarp that area today. It looks like it's ready. Curtis and Jean-Martin both use silage tarps for their tarps, which I think are a really good source. They're kind of expensive, honestly, and you know me, cheapo. So I looked for an alternative supply, and I found something I think is a really good resource. I actually use billboard tarps, and if you look at billboardtarps.com, they actually will go and they salvage old billboards and turn them into tarps. So here is a small tarp I got from them, and you can see on one side, you know, it's black, and it has actually places to put pipe sleeves, so you can put a pipe in here for weight it down, and then on the other side you're going to get some kind of advertisement or something. But you know, I had the black side up, so that works great for me. This is 11 mil, so I mean, yeah, I'm sure it is sturdy as any silage tarp, and it's a fraction of the cost. The thing that gets you on ordering this tarp or any tarps really, or a lot of the farm supplies, is shipping. Shipping can be a little pricey on this. Usually though, if you buy one from them, after you've purchased one, they usually send you a discount or something like that for your next one to just kind of help a little in the shipping. Despite your best efforts, you are going to eventually have to hoe. Flaming, tarping, all this does great as far as really eliminating a lot of the weeds, but even with that, you will still have some weeds. And I don't have enough tarps to do everything. So here is a row of cabbage that you may have saw me transplant on an earlier video, and they have some small weeds coming up in them. And I mean small, very, very small, and that is the ideal stage to get a handle on the weeds. At this point, instead of hoeing, we are cultivating. We want to only cultivate, we don't want to hoe, we don't have to come in here and break our back, so we want to make it as easy on us as possible. Probably one of my favorite hoes is the collinear hoe, which is designed by Elliott Coleman. The nice thing about this hoe is when I am doing my cabbage, I can stand upright. I'm not doing this number, I am standing upright. I'm just barely dragging it through the soil just to disturb the weeds, and that is enough to kill them. I want to do it shallowly. Why? Because I don't want to bring any new weed seeds up. So this is an ideal hoe for that. This is one of my favorite hoes. Actually, there is one I like slightly more, and I believe it's referred to as a swan hoe. Same principle, you're standing up, hoeing at a 70-degree angle, so you're not having to bend over or stoop. The one thing I like a little more than the collinear is having this point on the end. So if I want to get really close to a weed, that makes it a lot easier to do. I also have a scuttle hoe. You see this used a lot. It is designed to use walking backwards. It's really good for pass, because you just go back and forth, and it goes very shallowly, and it does a quick job of eliminating the weeds. However, one hoe you probably will not see me cultivating with is the traditional hoe. And this, you know, if I have to use this, I have letting the weeds get way out of hand. My main use for this is actually when opening up furrows, because that does a good job opening up a furrow if I'm going to plant potatoes or something like that.